Hello, my dear friends. I'm Tama, and welcome back to Lotus and Light. This morning, as I sat in quiet contemplation, watching the gentle dance of cherry blossoms outside my window, I was reminded of a profound truth that touches each of our lives daily. Have you ever felt your inner peace shatter the moment someone challenges your deepest beliefs? Perhaps a family dinner turned tense over politics, or a friend questioned your spiritual path. That knot in your stomach, the racing thoughts, the urge to defend or attack. We've all been there, haven't we? Today, I want to share with you an ancient wisdom that has guided me through countless moments of disagreement, a path that leads not to victory over others, but to victory over our own suffering. This is the art of remaining peaceful when the world around us seems determined to pull us into conflict. The first step lies in understanding what I call the illusion of the fortress. We build these magnificent fortresses around our beliefs, political, religious, personal. We patrol the walls, ready to defend against any intruder. But here's what I've learned through years of meditation and reflection. The stronger we build these walls, the more imprisoned we become within them. When someone disagrees with us, they're not actually attacking our beliefs. They're simply expressing their own experience of reality, filtered through their unique lens of suffering, joy, fear, and hope. Their words are like clouds passing across the sky of our consciousness. We can choose to chase these clouds with thunderbolts of anger, or we can remain as steady as the vast sky itself. I remember a time when a visitor to our monastery challenged everything I believed about compassion. His words were sharp, his tone dismissive. I felt that familiar fire rising in my chest, the urge to prove him wrong, to defend the Dharma itself. But then I paused and asked myself, what would happen if I listened not to win, but to understand? This brings us to the practice of sacred listening. When we listen with the intention to understand, rather than to respond, something beautiful happens. We begin to see the person behind the opinion, the heart behind the harsh words. Often, those who speak most aggressively about politics or religion are themselves in the deepest pain, seeking connection through conflict because they know no other way. The Buddha spoke of right speech as part of the Noble Eightfold Path. But before we can speak rightly, we must listen rightly. This means listening with what I call the ears of compassion, hearing not just the words, but the longing beneath them, the fear behind the anger, the hope hidden in the hostility. Now, you might wonder, does this mean we must agree with everyone? Must we abandon our own convictions to keep the peace? Not at all, dear friends. There's a difference between being peaceful and being passive, between acceptance and agreement. I practice what I call the way of the lotus. The lotus grows in muddy water, yet it rises above the surface, pure and beautiful. It doesn't reject the mud, it transforms it into nourishment. Similarly, we can remain rooted in our truth while rising above the muddy waters of conflict. When someone challenges your political views, breathe deeply and remember that you are not your opinions. You are the awareness that holds these opinions. When someone questions your faith, recognize that true faith doesn't need defending, it needs living. The strongest response to criticism is often not argument, but authentic embodiment of what you believe. I've found that the most powerful phrase in any disagreement is simply this: help me understand your perspective. These words are like keys that unlock closed hearts. They transform opponents into teachers, conflicts into conversations. But what about those times when staying peaceful feels impossible? When the disagreement touches something so core to your identity, that silence feels like betrayal. This is when we must dive deepest into the well of our practice. In these moments, I turn to what the Buddha called loving kindness meditation. I begin by sending love to myself, acknowledging my pain, my fear, my humanity. Then I extend this love to the person who has triggered me, recognizing that they too are suffering. They too are seeking happiness in their own way. This doesn't mean becoming a doormat. Sometimes loving kindness means setting clear boundaries. Sometimes peace requires us to walk away from conversations that serve no one. But we can do this with compassion rather than contempt, with firmness rather than fury. Remember, dear friends, every moment of disagreement is a gift, an opportunity to practice patience, to cultivate understanding, to choose love over fear. When we master this art, we become bridges in a world full of walls, lights in spaces filled with shadow. As we close today's reflection, I invite you to share this message with someone who might need to hear it. Perhaps someone with whom you've disagreed recently. Leave a comment sharing your own experiences with peaceful disagreement. Please honor it with a like and subscribe to continue walking this path together. Until we meet again, may you find lotus blooms in every muddy pond of conflict, and may your light shine gently in the darkness of division.